Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Fortunately, I didn't have to come up with a schedule myself. The folks, Carol and Paul and Bruce, I think all three came up, and that makes it much easier for me. Now, the very first thing they ask is your history. What did you do for a living? Married, children? Now, I could be here all night. But anyway, I will run through this fairly quickly, but the thing to note is, as far as my career, are the extent to which my brain was challenged, because that is very important type thing. And at the very end, then I'll bring that up again. So very quickly, I was in the bank in Ireland from 49 to 56, migrated to Canada in 1956, 57 to 64, I was an RCAF navigator, and I'll do a little bit more about here what I do. 1964 to 67, I got my BA at Concordia University in Montreal. 1967 to 69, MA, University of Western Ontario. And 69 to 71, I was a geography professor with tenure at Ryerson. I was only there for 2 years, but I felt that that wasn't the place to be as to what I wanted to do, because it didn't have the feeling of the other geography departments that I'd been with. So just about around that time, a friend called me up when I was doing my master's, and he said, the Faculty of Graduate Studies are looking for the first administrative officer in the faculty. So I jumped at that. And that was from 1971 to 96. And in there it was finance and manager of the office. So that's what's got me in London. Now, just a little aside, and I should maybe move on this fairly quickly, as far as my experiences, travel, well, many countries. I've traveled to well over 40 countries. I've been to, and Judy as well, to all 6 continents on this world. And just as a little go back to, I was at the Olympic Games in 1948, so that really brings you back a little bit. And I can still remember names of people then, like Zatopak was a great runner then from Finland, and also there was Fanny Blankers-Koen from Holland, were outstanding people type thing. So there were something still working there as far as, you know, remembering some of these names. What else did I do? Oh yes, another little interesting thing was the Air Force got me into all kinds of interesting places, because I was traveling mostly North America, Europe, and Africa. What do I have here? Oh yeah, there was a survival course. When I finished my navigation course in Winnipeg, we were all flown up into the far north. And this was survival. If your plane happened to come down, what do you do? Because in some cases, you know, in the first 5 minutes, it's over. People don't know what to do and they give up. So what happened there was that, oh yeah, survival. So it was up in the far north. So they flew us up and we had a sort of a ramshackle place, and the Eskimos brought us out the next day in their skidoos, and they had built an igloo for us. But then, from then on, it was us who created it and built our own igloos. And this was just a fantastic experience. And I'm not going to go into all the mechanics of it and all that sort of. Started out very thick walls, and you end up like this, because when you were inside, the heat was going up, and if there was too much, it would start melting. And it was like what the Eskimos do. You get in, you get up onto a bench, and my big decision was whether I put, you know, my clothes on or left them off type thing. Because at night it was minus 45 degrees. So if you had to go to the toilet, there was no choice, you had to go out. And that is very significant, because Eskimo people face this problem too. Sometimes when they're old and this and that, I've heard of them going out and they get lost because everything is white and they die. So now, as far as other things, far north survival, well, when I was in the Air Force, I was flying mostly to Europe and Africa. And that was the time of, the Cold War type thing. And so I've flown in 7 different aircraft and 3,500 hours in a plane. And I've flown the Atlantic 156 times, if that means anything to you. And I've also flown with an RAF plane, because they would be sometimes come over to us, and if I wanted to go home, I could hop on to Ireland, which I did. And of course, I've flown a little bit with the Portuguese Air Force when I was in the Azores Islands. I could fly over to one of the other islands. And I've also, when I finished there once, this is in the Azores, I hopped on one of their planes up to London, England. So the Air Force had fantastic experiences. No, let's see. Okay, married in 1963. And that was a very significant date, of course. And that was no children. And what else? Okay, coming to the next thing here. The first thing I wanted you to mention, I think I mentioned with all those things that I mentioned, all my different jobs, was to recollect to what extent was my brain being used, because that is very critical. And I've got a little bit at the end when I will approach that again. And the next question is, when you first started experiencing issues with your memory, what were some of the issues, and how did you feel about this situation? What path did you take in seeking help? Well, felt I should pursue help when I noticed a little slight, bit of memory, 2011 approximately. And St. Joseph's Hospital, they happen to have a little magazine that comes out. My wife picked it up somewhere, and in that magazine it said that if you have memory problems, call your outfit. What better place to go? So I called Parkwood and had an appointment with Dr. Montero, which resulted in an appointment which determined that I had MCI. And he did a number of tests at that time. And I volunteered for the Gates brain study, and I'm still a member of that once a year. They will be contacting me as part of their research. The next question is, when you were given the diagnosis of MCI, what were your feelings about the diagnosis? To me, that was just life type thing, not a death sentence. And at that time, I was a little older, but in retrospect, you see, I had to look at my own family situation. My mother died at 59. She had a multitude of problems. My father was a policeman and had nothing. He worked his own garden. He used his bicycle for long trips, around. In those days, today it's a car, of course. And he had my build, everything. I would have put all my money in my father's survival. He died of heart attack at 62. And I think it's partly could have been the diet, because the diet in Ireland was just a killer, an absolute killer as far as the fats and all that sort of stuff. And then my only brother died at 67 with a heart attack. So I feel, I'm very fortunate to be where I am and to have a future that, to me, still exists, type thing. What led you to the Alzheimer's Society? Well, Judy had a friend who told her about it, and we got there. How has MCI impacted your life? I have small diet changes, which I have, but mostly I've been on a Mediterranean diet, because in Ireland the diet was so terrible that I had to do something about it. So the point is that and of course Dr. Borey, he mentioned that in the study here, but you see, what I do is that I have an orange or two every morning, and I eat a lot of apples, particularly, for a snack or whatever it is, and grapes. And on my table where I eat, those things are right there. The grapes are there. Oh, and nuts. I go nuts about nuts, I really enjoy them. And I exercise much more. No long distance travel now. Well, in fact, I've been lucky through one thing and another. Since 1956, I've been over to Ireland 16 times, so I can't complain. What did I say? Let's understand. Oh yes, this is the bad stuff. Yeah, Judy wrote this for me. Less understanding and retention of info need Judy's help. So that was telling me something. If living alone would have problems, so I'm hoping she lives a long time. If life good despite changes. So anyway, I'm thinking all very positively about all of this type thing. I don't lose any sleep about it. And then learning the ropes, well, you've heard all about it, and I think that I have enjoyed that. And I think that, what was it I had here? Oh yes, some of the strategies which I learned, I had already started myself, because what I do is when I go out for the car, on the door, I already had up there, do you have cash with you? Do you have something else? Do you have something else? And now it's become natural. I don't have to look at it. But mention meeting before. Just hold a minute. Okay. Oh yeah, but the big thing I enjoyed about the meetings were the meeting the people. This was wonderful because you were seeing people that were in the same situation as yourself. They would talk about it, you could talk to them, and it helped Judy as well, because they had other special meetings, I think, for spouses and all that sort of stuff. And these people were from all walks of life, so we had great fun, and we enjoy going to those things. Question, do you feel differently about your future now as opposed to when you were first diagnosed? No, I don't feel any difference, really. I take all of this in my stride. I'll tell you my age later, but I have an acceptance of reality about life type thing. And well, perhaps I will tell you, and you'll get tuned into me. In a few weeks' time, I'm going to be 84, going into my 85th year. So I can't complain at all. And I have MCI is just a minor little thing as far as I'm concerned in my life. And I'm looking forward to age 90 without any qualms whatsoever. In fact, I'll be telling you later about the exercise that I do at the Cardiac Fitness Institute, and he gives me a long time, but I'll tell you later about why he feels that I'm going to be around for quite a while. Dr. Patrick, of course, is the guy. And now Judy, she wrote this, and Judy, 11 years younger than me, wonderful support. Well, that's true. I have wonderful support because with no family, it's her and me. So, okay. Oh yeah, what are some of the reflections on your husband's journey, if Judy wanted to speak to you? But just one thing I mentioned about this business of all the things that I have done as far as getting the brain moving in action, and it's fairly standard that smarter people do somewhat better because they're using the brain all the time. And and in my own case, that's why I was asking you to think about what I'm doing as far as my brain functions. Well, there are two examples of this. Just a few years ago, the Dean of Journalism died with Alzheimer's. So we're not protected totally or in any way. And also, Dr. Connell, who is a recent president at Western, and had no problems as far as I know, when he went to be president of the University of Toronto, he died just a month or two ago with Alzheimer's. So sometimes what's going on in the brain doesn't save you. But for the most part, I think, Doctor, you would agree that perhaps it helps a little bit. type thing. So, okay. Sorry. Oh yeah, do you feel differently about your future now as opposed to when you first were diagnosed? And I do not feel different at all. Everything is just as in the past, and life is still good, type thing. And Judy's 11 years younger. That's a great asset. What? Yeah. Now there was something here at the end which, when I see all the gray hair here, I think I'm maybe out of touch here, because in Ireland the diet was absolutely terrible, type thing, a real killer. And I figured by leaving in 56, I practically saved my life. But the thing is that when I came to Canada, all that bad eating pretty well disappeared, type thing. And what I have here, let me see. So I had something here, just give me a moment here. Okay. I think that if I had stayed in Ireland, I wouldn't be here today. I would have been long gone with that diet, because they didn't know the word cholesterol. They, probably still don't. But so the thing is that in '93 I had a heart attack. Now I venture that if I had stayed in Ireland, I wouldn't be here today, because there was nobody telling you shouldn't eat this. No, my mother was a wonderful baker, all the most wonderful things you could ever want to eat. Her first Christmas cake would be made in October with the icing on it. Well, it never got to Christmas. It was eaten long before we ever got there. Now, she also made, a Christmas cake for her cleaning lady and for her sister, and her sister then was on the farm and sent her a turkey and all that sort of stuff. So it all worked out pretty good. So this is the big coincidence to me right here. The '93 heart attack. But what happens when you have a heart attack? My doctor told me about the Cardiac Fitness Institute, and I don't know whether you know that or not. It's over in the hospital, and the building used to be a little chapel or church, and it's right near the emergency. If you're going in, it's very close to where the emergency is, and it's got these high windows and all, like from the church and all that sort of stuff. So the thing is that Dr. Patrick got this going. I don't know what the setup was. Now, the hospital, of course, pay for the cleaning, they pay for the heating, they pay for the cooling, and all that sort of stuff. But there's a lot of staff there. But the thing is that they have fundraising on all the time, and people are very, very generous. There's, what did I have here about, at this moment, they're fundraising, and they do it several times a year. But as you go in, and it's a high ceiling because it was a church, there's a big poster up. They're looking for 200,000, and they're almost there. And they keep doing this from time to time because it costs money. Now I don't know how he's paid. Whether he is a cardiologist, he has his own practice, but he also there was something else there until somebody waved at me. Okay, what I do at the Cardiac Fitness, now you have to have a doctor's notice to go there. You just can't go in, but it's full of bicycles, treadmills, upper body stuff, just fantastic stuff, the place. So I go there 2 or 3 times a week. And the thing is that I do about 25 minutes on the treadmill, 25 up in the upper body. You can go and come as you like, and nobody's ever going to ask you for money. We give it voluntarily, and it all seems to work. So I go there 2 or 3 times a week, and Patrick is always there when I'm on the treadmill, because sometimes for the 10 o'clock meeting in the morning, I've gone there, and you'll see a bunch of men waiting, and they're waiting for him to arrive. And when he walks in the door, they get on their bikes and away they go, because it's very crucial. And the other thing is that I have a treadmill at home, because if the weather's lousy, I live in North London and it's South London type thing. So it works. And they have an annual stress test there. 1 minute. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's good. And the point is that with these annual stress tests, I am one of his best patients type thing. The time, he's the one that gave me, he thought how long I would live and all that sort of stuff. But hold on, I had something here about 25 schedule, just hold from. Anyway, the thing is that I find it's fantastic. If you're not advised to go there by the doctor, there is no way. But the facilities are just one. Oh, then the other thing is that I live in North London, and I walk down to the mall every other day, perhaps. Bring the Globe and Mail with me, have a cup of coffee, whatever it is, and that's about 25 minutes, twice, type thing. So I'm on the go all the time, exercising. Now, when I see all these grey hairs here, I wonder, am I up the wrong street, type thing. But if you have people in your family or whatever it is, exercise is very important because, as you know, blood supply to the brain is very critical. And that's what it's all about when I'm out there exercising. So anyway, I think that's about it. I see different signals saying it's time to leave. Well, thank you very much. I hope that you can pass this along.